Yep. You already know what it is. Southpaw Talk with Southpaw Slick. And today's video is going to be based on a question that I got from one of my male Instagram followers. And the question was, is monogamy a myth? Now, this one is very interesting. I like this one. I think I'm going to have fun with this video. But to answer your question, is monogamy a myth? My answer to that is yes, absolutely. Monogamy is a myth, and I would be lying to say otherwise. First and foremost, the majority of people watching this video, if not everyone in the world, knows what monogamy is, right? But to give you the basics, monogamy is a relationship that consists of only two people. You have one person here, one person there. That's it. No third-party interruption, no outside bodies. That's it. Just one versus one. Only. That's monogamy, right? But why was monogamy even created in the first place? That's a question I'm going to ask and answer, of course. Monogamy was created so that men in particular, because that's where it benefited the most, which we'll go into as the video progresses, it was basically something that guaranteed a man would have a mate, right? That a man would have a mate, everybody would be able to procreate, every man would be able to pass on his legacy to his offspring. Right? At one point in time, monogamy was non-existent. Humans ran off of human nature. Naturally, both men and women are non-monogamous. Of course, for two different reasons. Men, it's about procreating with the most. Women, it's about procreating with the best. So us as human beings, we were not meant to be with only one person, right? Now, the problem with that is since the beginning of time, only certain men, which in today's society would be referred to as the top 10, 20%, that I'm sure a lot of people have heard if you've listened to any Red Pill or Manosphere content. The top 10, 20%, the alpha dogs, those were the guys that got to procreate, while the bottom 60 to 80% didn't. There's a reason for that. In order for civilization to continue in a healthy manner, women had to procreate with the best possible mate. The man with the best genetics, the best physical appearance. I'm saying, the broad shoulders, the big muscles, the strong jawline, the strong cheekbones, sexual dimorphism, right? Women can only carry a child every 9 months, whereas a man can impregnate multiple women in one day. So because of that, women had to be careful on who they procreated with. So if they had to share one man, the top alpha dog, then so be it. Now, of course, this is the subconscious, or better yet, even the unconscious mind kicking in. Right? And you see it happening today. I'm saying, let alone celebrities. You have your Futures, your Fetty Waps, your Nick Cannons. But with them, it's not only based on genetics, it's also based on resources. So even a man that isn't genetically superior still has a chance to procreate with a woman. But like I said, we're gonna break all that down. We're gonna break all that down. Now let's apply it to regular society or the general population, your everyday average Joe and average Jane, you see it happen frequently where there's a man, I know a couple, by the way. Actually, it's more than a couple, but I'm saying I definitely know some guys that have multiple kids with multiple baby mothers, and I know a lot of men that have no children whatsoever. The men that have multiple baby mothers and kids, the quote unquote bad boys, they have certain attributes that trigger a woman's attraction, right? I'm saying they have the physical appearance, like I just stated, the muscles, the strong jawline, cheekbones, broad shoulders. They have all of that. Might be well endowed. I don't know. Like I said, I don't care to know either. But all of those characteristics come into play. To the point, even if he's a bum, if he has all of the genetic qualities and the physical qualities to draw a woman in, that's good enough. You know what I mean? That's why a lot of people are pro poly. I'm saying monogamy is starting to be a dying thing. And even people that are in a monogamous relationship, they might have a side dude or a side chick. You know what I mean? Have somebody behind their significant other's back. So people are not taking monogamy as seriously as they used to because the opportunity has arose once again to live that kind of lifestyle. Like I said, back during prehistoric times, that was a normal thing. It was normal for one guy to fuck a whole bunch of women and other men are just assed out. That's why I said that's why monogamy had to be in place. So those bottom 60 to 80% of men can actually have a shot at copulating and procreating with women instead of just a certain amount of men. But that's starting to be the case anyway. Most men are invisible to women. And once again, that's that human nature kicking in. Like I said, only certain guys really fit the bill. I can honestly admit that most men are below average. Now, of course, you can take steps to make yourself appeal to women in a different way. I'm saying, yeah, you can go to the gym and work out and give them the illusion that you're a guy with superior genetics when in actuality you're not. Same thing with me wearing glasses. I could wear contacts instead or get like a contact implanted in my eye to make it seem like I have great eyesight when in actuality I don't. But like I said, but that nature is going to look at it differently. They're not going to notice that it's a facade. They're just going to see what it is on the surface. I'll say basically, it's like I'm doing another poly talk video right now. But they kind of coincides with one another. I'm saying monogamy is definitely a myth. Now, this is why more and more people, women in particular, are starting to be fine with the idea of sharing a man, which is more beneficial in the long run. A man having multiple wives is more beneficial than the other way around. I'm saying now a woman with multiple husbands, that's just for her own personal satisfaction. The men don't benefit whatsoever. Whereas a man with multiple women, the man and the women benefit, as well as society as a whole, civilization as a whole. If you have multiple women that procreate with a guy that has superior genetics, that ensures that society going on from here on out is going to have a population of competent individuals. Whereas a woman who has multiple husbands, some of them might be alpha dogs, some of them might be beta. When you sleep with all these men raw, you're not really going to know who the child's father is. And you're taking a gamble as well. If you end up being impregnated by one of the men that have weak genetics. And I'm saying, and you're procreating with that. You're passing that on instead. So there's no benefit whatsoever. And I know a lot of people say there's a double standard. Like, oh, well, how come it's okay for a man to have multiple wives, but it's not okay for a woman to have multiple husbands? Me, the way I look at it is, either or is fine with me. But when it comes down to it, there's no benefit. And that's the thing about it. There's no benefit. Society doesn't benefit from that. The men in that setup don't benefit from that. Like I said, to me, the way I look at it is, I don't know how a woman can be fine with being with men that are comfortable sharing her. They already proved to her that I'm below average. I'm below average. I have a scarcity mindset. I'm a fucking sucker. That's the message it sends to the woman, at least to me. I would think. But like I said, but a lot of women want to be like men nowadays. They kind of overlook that shit just so they can do what we do, when in actuality you can't do what we do. I know that's something that's hard to accept, but it is what it is. But yeah, basically what I'm trying to say is monogamy was something that was not necessarily meant for society. It was only beneficial for men who were below average, so they can have a chance to get a mate to sleep with and procreate with. That's it. That's what monogamy was there for. If monogamy was never incorporated in society, then only certain men would have that opportunity. But the thing about it is, human nature is rearing its ugly head. As we see nowadays. Women don't think twice about getting knocked up by a piece of shit guy that has good genetics and pin that child on a dude that's below average, but he has the resources. Remember, alpha fucks, beta bucks. That phrase alone basically defines everything I just said. Because that's exactly what it is when it comes down to it. And like I said, it was meant to be that way so civilization can progress. But ironically, civilization is starting to be on a decline. That's the crazy thing about it. So, I don't know. We'll see how everything plays out. But I don't have a lot of faith in the coming future. Or it's not going to last as long. Like I said, Armageddon is closer than we think. That's what I believe. Spiritually and realistically. I'm saying as long as things continue to be the way they are, I don't see society lasting. But break's about to be over. I wish I could talk about this a little bit more in depth. I try to fit what I could, but I think you guys get the message for the most part. So, Southpaw Slick, I'm out.